Okay, so I'm going to show you all how to open up your frog. And I'll need you to watch this video so we can come prepared for questions next time. So let's get my tools out here. You'll need scissors. You're going to need tweezers. You may need your scalpel. Depends on how good your scissors are. We'll need our probing tools. And we'll also need our pins, if I can get them out of this box. I will say that some of your scissors may be in pretty bad condition because they're just really old. So we may have to use a scalpel. So the first thing you're going to do is we're going to flip our frog over like this. You're going to need a paper towel and you're going to need a dissecting mat. Now, you can choose to wear goggles for this or not. It's up to you all. I don't because I'm not really afraid of these things. So first thing you're going to need to do is you're going to have to pin the frog. And when you do the legs, well, when you do any of the pins, it's important to note that you want to leave space for you to cut. So what I do is I insert my pin and I angle it away from where I would potentially cut. Now because there are bones in the legs, you might hear yourself pop through a bone as you do that. So, but we have to secure him down so he doesn't move when we start cutting him. So angle away, push down through, so you're at the bottom of the mat. Now he's in place. Now this frog, he is a male because his thumb pads are very large. So in order to pin the hands, you're going to have to break the arms and pop them. So you may hear it, you may not, but well, you may or may not hear it on the video, but you definitely probably going to hear it while you do it. So let's see here. Oh, that one popped. Okay. Yep, he popped. Okay. Now his arms are broken, and I can pin his arms back in the same way. So I can hold his arms down, and I can pin him. Oh, let's try and get in the middle. A little bit back like that. So see, he's in a position now where he's kind of pinned down. He's not going to move while I cut, so it's not going to be too much of a hassle to get him open. Now, the reason why I put a paper towel down is because these guys can be slimy. Okay, they can be a little bit juicy, and so it helps us keep our stuff clean. And yeah, so first thing I'm going to do is, and I'll kind of rotate so you can see it, right here, about at this level right here, I'm going to make a small incision. Okay, I'm going to cut the skin first so I can drain some of the fluid out of the skin, and then if I want to, I can cut the skin away. So I'm going to make a little incision right here, then squeeze on his abdomen to get the juice out. Okay, and then I'm going to cut a flap going this way, so I'm going to cut a line all the way down here, nice and shallow, and all the way down here. Then I'm going to cut along the torso all the way up to here under the abdomen, up to the ribs. And then I'm going to cut this way as well, right before I reach the arms, okay? Right before I reach the arms. And that'll open up some skin flaps for me. So let me show you how I do that. Let's get that in a good view. So I'm going to kind of cut a little bit shallow here. I have a little tiny hole. I need to make it a little bit larger. Okay. Have it a little bit. Oh, there's juice pouring out already. So what I can do is I can just go ahead and squeeze him, and all of that will just come pouring out. Don't squeeze too hard because it could spray back at you, and you don't want that to happen because then you'll smell like preservatives all day, and it'll get on your clothes, and your clothes will smell terrible, and then they won't even smell right after you wash them. So keep cutting nice and shallow. These scissors are a little bit dull, so we're going to work with this a little bit. Come on. Okay, there we go. Okay, there's more juice coming out. Yep, there comes a little bit of juice. Okay. Now, if you're right-handed like me, you may have to cut or rotate the frog, which is fine. I do that to help myself get a better angle to cut. So rotating is perfectly fine. Okay. And then I am going to, come on. This guy's skin is awfully hard to cut. This guy's is, okay, there we go. Okay, so, oh, we got some connective tissue right there that we want to cut through. Okay, so what I'm going to do next, and hold on. What we're going to do next is we're going to cut up along the underbody right here. Okay, so we're just going to see if we can get some pinching. Be careful not to cut your gloves. Okay, come on. There we go. So now that skin's cutting with it. Okay, so we've got some skin there. There's some connective tissue right there that we need to kind of clip away here to make sure we can get it open. Okay, so we've got kind of the startings of our first flap right here, and then we're going to cut right along there. Okay, and if you notice, you can see some of those veins already showing up on the skin. And that's where that frog is going to absorb its oxygen through its skin. So we want to cut down a little bit this way. Okay. Okay, and then I gotta do the same over here so I can get him open right here. Okay. And you'll see there's some skin flaps right here. I'm gonna kind of cut that connective tissue right there so that we can get it open. There we go. And if this unnerves you or makes you uneasy, I can always come help you all. No skin off my bones. Okay, so then what you're going to do next, hold on a second. Okay, so next thing we got to do is we got to open up the frog. So we're going to cut in the same spot we did before. Make a small little incision right here. Okay. Now this is going to be a little bit harder because you're cutting through the muscle a little bit right here. We have to make that same incision, that same type of incision we did before. And once you've cut through it, you'll know. And then what you'll need to do is you'll have to cut up along this black central vein right here. But as you do it, pull your scissors up a little bit, because if you cut too deep, you're going to pierce the organs and you could ruin some of the organs that we're going to take out and look at. So what I do is I kind of put my scissors in, I follow that line, and I may press the head down a little bit to help me out. Okay, and I can see I'm almost in its chest cavity. Okay, so these scissors are not the greatest, but that's okay. So notice how I'm pulling the scissors up as I cut. Okay, this is so I don't, or I do my best not to cut into any organs, okay? So my scissors kind of popped out. That's okay. Now as I get up here, it's going to get a little bit tougher. That's because I'm starting to cut through what would be the ribs. Frogs don't have true ribs like we do, but there's still something there that helps protect the heart and the lungs. So next thing I need to do is I still need to continue to open up my flaps. Okay, so I need to cut down this way just a little bit. Okay. So as I cut, just let me get these out to help me, my tweezers. Okay, this is going to help me give myself some leverage here to get them open. Okay. And so then, and this will be easier when you have two people. You can have somebody helping grab the flaps here as you cut to help get them open. So this guy, he's juicy on the inside. Okay, so then I don't mean to block the camera here. So now I've got to hold this flap right there. There's some connective tissue I need to cut away right there. And unfortunately I do not, well, like I said, it's a male, so it's not like I have a pregnant frog here, but you know, some of yours might be pregnant. If there's pregnant, they'll look like almost like black caviar hanging out at the side as you cut them open. Cut her open. Okay, So I've got one side open, okay? So I have to do the same to the other side, okay? Same fashion that I did. I'm going to cut this way, and that, if you see the yellow stuff, it's probably because I kind of cut into the urinary bladder. That's my bad, but it happens. Sometimes you can't make it all the way through without butchering at least a little bit of the frog. Happens to the best of us. So let's get this. Cut that vein right there. Okay, he's open. Okay, we've got him open. Okay, now the thing we need to do next is pin those flaps down. So I'm going to pause the video right here because I need to go get some pins. I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back. And what we're going to do is we're going to pin these flaps back. So you kind of have to hold them back like this to open them up. And to make sure you don't have an issue, I would pin these flaps down like so. That keeps them open. So if you look, the frog is open. The pins right here are holding his flaps at bay so we can access some of the organs here. So I'll kind of grab the Chromebook, or not the Chromebook, the iPad here, and we'll start looking at some things that are going on here. So this way. Okay, so if we look, these three lobes right here, this is the liver. Okay, this is the organ that's going to protect the majority of the organs. You will have to cut these out. Sometimes they come out easy. That's okay. If I look behind it, I have these yellow things right here. Those are the fat bodies. Okay, this right here under that, if you see that, like, so let me actually get the liver out here so I can show you. So let's cut the liver out. I'm going to use my tweezers. And I'm going to use my scissors. So there's a little connection piece right there. Okay, so we are going to kind of cut this out right here. And you may end up mutilating parts of it as you get it out. That's okay, I'm kind of just ripping it out. I don't really care that much. The liver is going to come out kind of gross anyways. And it might come out like... So there's one lobe out. Okay. Okay. Mind you, I'm doing all the tweezing with my left hand when I'm right-handed, so it's kind of tough a little bit. So let's get this one out. Okay. So let's trying not to kill the heart as I do this, but it looks like I might end up mutilating the heart. This guy's liver is coming out kind of hard. Okay, there's another lobe gone, and see, this is why it's super important to make sure the pins are facing the right way so you can get in here and manipulate things as you get them out. Okay. Okay, so this one lobe did not come out beautifully, but that's okay. There we go. Okay, so the liver is removed. Okay, so it didn't come out like the prettiest, but that's okay. So what happens next now that the liver is gone? If you look, we can get a better look at those fat bodies right there. Okay, this right here is the stomach. The stomach leads into the small intestines right here. If you look at that, they're called the small intestines because they're smaller in diameter. We have the large intestine right here. If we were to remove parts of this, we could find the cloaca. Up here we have the heart. There's the little bottom of it right there. Okay, and as we remove the stomach and start removing things, you may find things like the pancreas. This guy's large intestine is really full. So if you were to cut into this guy, you might find some just food that's ready to leave the frog itself. Yeah, underneath all this will be the lungs somewhere. So even though the frogs breathe through their skin and kind of breathe a little bit different than we do, they still do have lungs. Okay, so your job's going to be finding these organs and cutting them out. So yeah, watch this video this weekend or anytime to help remind you of what you're supposed to do.